Hello, everyone. Good day. How we doing? Happy Easter. Hope everybody's having a good Easter so far. Of the Easter Sunday. How we all doing? Hope everybody's well. Again, it's a different day. Imagine we usually stream on a Saturday. I'll tell you in a second why that was the case. Why we didn't stream last night. But yeah, happy Easter. Hope everybody's having a good Easter. And of course, 1916, 109 years today, pretty much. And Memorial Day too, I suppose, in terms of the president laying the wreath and stuff outside the GPO and stuff. That thing I suppose to do, even though I don't know. I don't know what would be that fond of Michael Higgins looking back. I don't know, but anyway. Hope we're all well. Again, I know we're a bit early. I said 4:30. I was kind of just here and ready to go. And I said I'd go live a bit earlier. So look at uh, an hour or two early is not going to be, well, not an hour, but 40 minutes or something like that early. Again, it's better to be early than late. Hello, Tony. Good day. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Easter. Hope you're having loads of Easter eggs. The Holland's on. Yeah, I was talking to somebody who was watching the Holland match yesterday. I can't remember who it was, but they were watching the Holland match yesterday and they were busy watching that. What is happening here? So there won't be too many probably around today, obviously being Easter. Let me see. Hello, Brian. Good evening. How are you doing? Good day. Sorry. Well, good evening, I suppose, too. Um, just smashed my head with an Easter egg. Yeah, everybody be tucking into the Easter eggs. Like even adults and stuff like that, you see them chopping away the Easter eggs, sitting there watching the telly. Like people are terrible for Easter eggs. Like not even children, it's adults too. But I suppose it's a treat, I suppose, for people. Um, it's so as I say, it's good to look forward to something. Um, whereas who? I just bought one myself. You can see that's what I'm saying. Like adults and stuff are like children themselves. It's the same when I went to that event in Dublin. The goodie bag. I don't know if you remember the goodie bag. Like these are big CEOs and CEO millions of euro. And every time, as soon as they got the goodie bag, they were straight into it. And these people could buy the place. And straight away, as soon as they get the goodie bag, they're taking it out and seeing what they got and stuff like that. Like big children. Like, it's insane. Uh, I don't know about streaming tonight, Tony. We'll stay for a while anyway. We'll not go too quickly tonight anyway. We'll probably be here until 5:30 or so, give or take. See, we see how we go. Uh, yeah, we'll see how we go. Forces go. What was on yesterday? There was somebody saying they were watching the Holland to me yesterday. I don't know who was playing. See, I don't pay attention to these things. Um, sorry, one moment. Yes, that must have been who people were watching. Because there was a man I was talking to. He wanted to go and watch the game, and he was mad to go and see the game. Let me see. Sorry, give me a moment. Just seeing something here now. I have to deal with. Not on YouTube, but on Twitter. Um, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Love the whole. And no, it was not even the County Council man. It was just knowing if I was talking to him on the street there before the game, and he was like, "Oh, have to go and watch the game." So that's how it turned about. Because I happened to come across and we had a bit of a chat, and then he was like, "Oh, I have to go have a game to watch," and that's how it came along. It wasn't the council man. Um, what? Yeah, like I know a good few of them probably watched the game. Yeah, a lot of them wouldn't be bothered. To be totally honest. To be totally honest. Well, a lot of them wouldn't be bothered really. I don't think. Uh, a lot of them are into the football. Would you believe? A lot of them are. There's one person that's in the council, like he does the Diggo. He drives the Diggo, and he's more into the football. He's a big Arsenal supporter. Like he's a big Arsenal supporter, along with a few others. You know. Um, yeah, so the more of just taking to myself, yeah, the more witty football supporters, more like them teams. Hello, Sean. Happy Easter. I hope we'll have loads of Easter eggs where you are. Uh, you're chucking into some Easter eggs, I probably presume. But happy Easter to you. And of course, Holy Week too, of course. Um, um, so we get started in a few minutes. So we have a good bit to discuss because obviously we probably should have been live last night. The reason why I wasn't live is just I was a bit hopefully tired, and that's really the only reason why. Um, um, no, that bunny is no, we're not doing that. Jesus. We're not doing that now, Brian. Um, we're not that what you call it? I don't know how you would describe it, but we're not that kind of way. Hmm. Yeah. Again, apologies for being nearly a half an hour early too, because I did say half four, and it's way before half four. But I suppose it's a good complaint. Let's put it that way. It's not a bad complaint. But anyway, any fun with anybody? Anybody doing anything nice tomorrow? Tomorrow's a big holiday. Anybody doing anything fun? Because I know a few people's going like on a trip and stuff like that. Going out and about. That's what I. No, I'm not watching really much at all. Uh, have a good Easter. No, there hasn't been much word. I think she's on the down low at the moment. And Thomas Guswika is losing her mind at the moment. Uh, and she's literally blaming Santa for everything. So, I think the woman just keeping a down low. Last I heard, she's spending time with Emma, her daughter, and stuff like that. So she's pretty much on the down low, pretty much for the moment. So I presume it's a quiet Easter as well. That's what I'm presuming, from what I've heard. Um, could be wrong. Um, um, but yeah, I suppose we get started now in a second. Let me just get I have to get stuff ready. Um, so it used to be always set up before this. Like back maybe a year ago, you used to have all things set up just ready to go. Nowadays, I just kind of live last minute. It's a bad habit. I should get out of it. It's better to have things sorted out. Um, I'm just trying to think where I'm going from here. Um, Give me a moment. I suppose we start with this. So this was in the Anglo South. Yes, it's not that important. We'll talk about something that's important in a second. Uh, there was a story in the Anglo South this week in Cavan, and probably nationally too. But half of the people who got for the storm that went by in February, you remember the bad storm again, storm Eowyn, yes. The majority of people who put in expense claims, pretty much, things were damaged, etc., etc. Half, literally less than half, got it. Um, and that sounds about right because literally everybody I know got very little to nothing, pretty much. What I'm trying to say. And Cavan was one of the one of the worst places, would you believe, for the storm. I don't know how we got it so bad compared to other places, but yeah. Oh well, it's not that. I could write up a huge essay as a title and stuff like that. But usually, I always get distracted. We never kind of stick to things. That's the good thing with videos. Um, Majority of the time, I don't get distracted. I'm sticking to the one topic, if that makes any sense. In a live stream, you kind of get distracted. The way somebody could come in and ask you a question, you get distracted, lose your train of thought, etc., etc. So it's better just to kind of wherever goes in the live stream, and it's not really about viewers. I wouldn't really watch, 1,000 viewers or something like that here. It'd be a nightmare to try and read everything, and discuss everything. So I'm just kind of happy the way it is. Videos are kind of the main thing, I suppose. It's the best way of getting points across. If that makes any sense. Because the live streams, as I say, people can come in, ask you something, you get distracted. It always happens. So, but it's a good thing, I suppose. But yeah, so pretty much nobody got anything from Storm Eowyn's assistant fund, humanitarian assistant fund. Put topics in the title, people might watch it afterwards. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Uh, but mainly, it's not really for people who watch us after. It's mainly for the people who are here at the moment. If that makes any sense. It's not really for the people who later on watch it. That makes sense. Even though there's people actually watch it afterwards. Like you see in the car, like on other ones. Take for example, I was looking at one there, the 40th one, like the 40th episode. I don't know why the 40th episode is all of a sudden very popular. Like literally back 100 and something back. The 40th episode's get confused for some reason. For some reason, so somebody must have heard something in that video and shared it with somebody else or something like that because it's up by 6 or 7 views. Take for example, and people are watching along, like watching a good few minutes of it. So for whatever I said in that, somebody's interested in that for some reason. But you get what I'm saying. But it's more for the people that's here and now. Not for really later on. If that makes any sense. Um, but see, the other problem with that is, I can never stick to schedule, I suppose, in terms of that, because because we talk about many different things. It's not just one thing. If that makes any sense, it's a lot of stuff. Yes. Where am I here, so? But I get what you're saying. I agree with you on that, but it's uh, who is this, Anna? Uh, So I talk about this that happened in Calvin Cross. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it. Uh, we tied to the video afterwards, whatever you end up talking about. that's a lot of stuff, you know. But I get what you mean. Yeah, I suppose you're right in that. Yeah, I could do that either. I suppose if there was something interesting to talk about, but in a lot of cases, it's just like this local issues, local stuff that's not really too relevant to people take what's happening in Dublin and stuff like that. Like what we're just about to talk about here, the Gaudi in Monaghan are very upset that people are committing thought crime, having opinions. So there was an incident in Carrick McCross in County Monaghan. There was a video that was circulated online showing about it. Pretty much a lot of cars were. There was a group of juveniles, like young people, breaking windows of cars, damaging cars, etc., etc. And obviously, the Gaudi are very upset because they think it's thought crime. Because a lot of people are jumping to conclusions on who it is and who's doing it, etc., etc. Without really much proof. Yeah, but that was what we voted on. I don't know what you hear at the time, Brian, but we done a vote, and people decided there was a few names, that there was 4 or 5, and that was what was picked back when the episodes first started. Literally over 2 years ago at this stage, that's where people picked, if that makes any sense. So it wasn't just me who made it up; it was other people who said that we wanted that way. But we could do it again someday. We might wait until we get to 200 or so episode, which we knew enough. We're not too far away from it. But then we might just revise it and say, do we want to change the name, or what's the story? We can have that conversation probably whenever that gets to it. If that makes any sense, we can ask people, because again, it's up to the people of the channel to decide what we call it. When we get to probably 200 or so, people probably want to keep it the way it is. I say probably people would want to keep it just the way it is, but we'll see. So yeah, the Guardian and Monaghan are very upset about thought crime. But again, I would never jump to conclusions in terms of these different things happening. No, it's 100%. Yeah, that's why usually, oftentimes you see me read ahead, even though I see the comments and stuff like that. Usually I read ahead because I distract myself. It's my fault because I get distracted myself. Because see, I always want to address people straight away, so people don't feel that I'm ignoring them, etc., etc. Like you remember the other day when David was here, he probably never came back because he thought I was ignoring him, which I wasn't ignoring him. Just to say, I was busy reading at the time. I was reading about something. I seen his comment, but I didn't get to address it, and I didn't get to address anybody else because I was too busy yapping. So that's what happened. But yeah, I don't know why he came here. He was a big. He's over 1 million subscribers or something like that. Well, not a million, near enough. You were saying about it, Brian. But it didn't matter. Whoever, if it was an only Joe, I still would talk to them regardless. It's just when I'm yapping, sometimes I address it. Anyway, I don't know what was his deal, but I wouldn't mind. Yeah, but I don't know. But I seen his comment. I was busy addressing what I was talking about. Talking about before. But only for that I would have talked to him. I would argue my point. But I said my point to him, for the last billion years, there's always been 2 genders. There's not been 100. There's only in recent years there's apparently 100 and something genders. Apparently, just all of a sudden in the last 10 years there's 100 and something genders. But for the last 200 years or 500 years, there's only been 2. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah. But it was not that I was ignoring him. You probably seen yourself. I was busy talking, yapping. And it's hard to do 2 things at once. It's hard to talk to the chat and talk about what you're talking about. It's hard to do 2 things at once. Like it's okay now, but when he came in, I was busy talking about something like full into discussion, talking about it. It's all right now. Like I pretty much said what I had to say about that Mullen incident. Uh, so we'll have time to chat to the chat if that makes any sense. But anyway, but I don't mind people having to go with me and stuff like that. Like again, it's his opinion and stuff. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but I still would say my opinion nonetheless to whoever. But again, the perfect entitled to the opinion. You know, it's democracy. I'd say that's what freedom's all about. You're allowed to have your opinion. But anyway, I just wanted to because you asked me about that in the last stream, and I didn't get a. I don't think maybe I did talk, but I can't remember. Where am I now? Sorry, give me a moment to try and find this other thing. Not allowed. No, it's not that. It's too much hassle to bring it up and do it. It'd be different if I had a space, like to keep the kettle. Take for example, to keep the kettle there, but I've nowhere to put the kettle like permanently. If that makes any sense. It's not that I'm not allowed. It's just too much of a hassle to set it up and work it out and all that. Apparently, there's a ship that's after sinking off the coast of Wexford. Like a yacht. Well, not a yacht, but it's probably a small yacht. Um, but yeah, so it was the 109 anniversary of the Easter Rising today. It's 109 years since Patrick Pearse stood out in front of the GPO and read the Irish Proclamation. And pretty much what I have to say about the whole thing, of course, it's good that we're remembering it, of course. But I don't know about Michael D. Higgins and Simon Harris and me whole mountain. I don't know would they be that fond of them today. Let's put that way. Especially being come out from the backwards looking at your sovereignty. I don't know about that one, Chief. Don't know what to tell you about that one. Also, it was Michael D. Higgins' 84th birthday yesterday, I think. It's quite insane. We don't answer that he's 84. But obviously, it's only the last few months of the presidency. So I want to get to something actually I didn't address in the last live stream. And that was in terms of Conor McGregor's interview with Tucker Carlson. We were going to get to it. It was on the agenda last stream. But, we've done a complete U-turn. I don't know what we got into discussion about. We got into some discussion about something. And that went out the window. But, yeah, so what did I think of it? I only watched about, I think it was about 60% of it. Something like that. Not all of it. I didn't watch the last few minutes of it. I'll probably get around to just listening to just so I know what was said, etc., etc. But I listened to the good majority of it, 60% of it or so, maybe even 70%. So I have the last maybe 20% to watch, which is not that long until the majority of it I listen to it. And he's Conor McGregor is right in a good few things he is saying, particularly about the population difference, etc., etc. It's very noticeable, as I say, in the streets. There's other stuff too that he mentioned. We could write the book on it to be sure answer. But he's right in a lot of things he's saying. But at the same time, I don't agree with Conor McGregor on a lot of stuff. What I mean by it is what he's personally, what he has done in his own personal capacity. There's your opinions, right? And then there's your what you've done in your in your life, in your personal life. And I have a lot of problems what he has done in his personal life. Uh, Not like in his personal decisions he's made, but his actions he's taken in some regards. That's the issue I have, I suppose, with Conor McGregor. But he is right that I do think this is the most poignant point to make. That it's very the presidency, particularly in Ireland. Um, there's a lot of how would you put it? There's a lot of red tape. Like it's not just you turn up and you put your name forward to the presidency. Uh, there's a lot of tricking about before you even get there, and that probably shouldn't be the case. Uh, that there should be a lot of tricking about because in other countries you just turn up and you can run for the presidency, and that's what they should be about instead of a lot of tricking about getting senators and stuff like that. So that probably has to be looked at because it is, and I suppose he is right in saying that it's an infringement of democracy. He's trying to prevent people war, and what that really is for too. The presidency, in terms of running for the presidency, is to favour political parties and people who are rich, etc., etc. Not like the only Irish Joe. Um, again, that's benefiting political parties. Sinn Féin will put somebody for probably Jerry Adams. Fianna Fáil will put Bertie Howard for Fianna Gael somebody else. You know, so it's all to do with parties, really, too. But the majority of things I have to say is he's right in a lot of stuff that he said in the interview. Now, there's questions to why they done it in that place. They didn't, but I think if we discuss about that, we're taking away from the issue at hand. But yeah. Uh, but yeah, long story short, I don't know. I have to wait and see. We don't know everybody who's won for the presidency yet. Nothing's been set in stone because it's still a bit too early. We won't know probably until June or July, definitely, before we know who probably is going to go for the presidency. So we don't know. But even at that, I think Conor McGregor is a bit misleaded in terms of what the presidency actually does, in terms of the power of the presidency. Um, because there's very little power in the presidency. It's more Dáil Éireann. Like, if he wants to make some kind of difference, it's more Dáil. He should go to Dáil Éireann instead of the presidency, because that's where all the power really is in the Dáil. Because that's the only the presidency is only pretty much a tick the box office, pretty much. But anyway, but we see. Long story short, yeah. But we'll see when the time comes. When I see all the candidates who I have to choose from, I look at every one of them and I decide from there. Because I'd be very specific. Like, you remember the local elections, or even the elections to Dáil Éireann just November gone by. I looked at every candidate. I looked at all the backgrounds. I looked at everything, and I made my assessment on all of them. Like, it wasn't just I decided because this. I looked at everything before I made the decision. It's the same with the family care referendum. I looked at everything, what the government was proposing, what other groups were proposing, everybody was proposing. Even though straight away, as soon as I heard the utter insanity that they were proposing, I was very much against it. But I still looked at what the government was proposing to do, even though it was fucking delusional and a lot of insane insanity to want to remove women from the constitution and stuff like that. Thankfully, the Irish people rejected that back in March last year, I think it was. But but we do the same when the presidential election comes here. But most likely won't be as many, probably as previous years. I say there'll be only about maybe 8 people going for the presidency. That'll be it. Because Sinn Féin will put somebody forward, Labour Party probably will. Social Democrats, well, we don't know about Aontú. I think Aontú's probably going to put somebody forward. If I'm to guess, probably Peadar Tóibín will go for the presidency. Aontú's on about. We talk about, actually, that's another thing we had to talk about. We'll get to that in a few minutes. We're not, but it's to do with what people in Northern Ireland have the right to vote for the president of Ireland. So I don't know how that would work, but I suppose it's an interesting proposal to look at. I don't know how that would work, but I don't know. Yeah, so I just touched on it now when I'm here because I end up forgetting to touch on it. So Aintree is proposing that they will allow people in Northern Ireland to vote for the president of Ireland. And I presume they're talking about you need an Irish passport or something. I can presume nobody, like they can't just give random papers out to everybody and say, here, vote for this person. Yeah, so you would have to be an Irish citizen, pretty much, to have the right to vote for the president of Northern Ireland, like president of Ireland in Northern Ireland. Um, I don't know how that would go. I don't know how you would feasibly get it to work too, but considering again this country, you can't vote from abroad. Um, that's the thing about it. Um, so I don't know, but I suppose it's an interesting concept to look at because a lot of countries have, citizens can vote abroad in elections and stuff like that, but that doesn't happen here. Do you have a family dinner today? No, we didn't have a family dinner. We just had a bit of go up and that was it. Wasn't a big dinner. A few spuds and a bit of chicken, and that was about it. Not really anything else. Um, it wasn't that big of a dinner on it. Um, uh, so we probably heard yesterday that our good friend Mihama, the Taoiseach, met with a waster, Ryan Tubridy. Um, of course, to ask for the money back that he owes the Irish state. Of course, he did. But yeah, he's talking about his new book, some new book that Ryan Tubridy's coming out with. And you wonder to yourself, why does the Irish government have anything to do with Ryan Tubridy? After he literally took money that he wasn't supposed to have from the Irish state. It's insane. But yeah, insanity. And again, they had a nice selfie, they had a nice photo and everything done for it. Like you think me Hammond would actually ask himself, maybe I shouldn't be with Ryan Tubridy at the moment. Maybe I shouldn't. But he don't anyway. Um, so in other news, Fine Gael is not doing too well. Um, they're having the worst polling since 1994. Yes, 1994, which is a long, long time ago. Um, so literally the worst like polling ever for Fine Gael in nearly 30 years, you could say. Um, it's crazy. But again, new energy, party of new energy, isn't that right? Um, Simon House has done a good job. He's like weekend the true wins. So yeah. Um, yeah, so it's not going to be probably good for Fine Gael. It's a miracle how Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil still have any support. Like it's a miracle. But the only reason they do is not from people our age. It's people like in the 60s, in the 70s voting for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. But then the one thing we have to get rid of in this country is we have to get rid of people vote like my mother voted for Fianna Fáil, so I'm going to vote for Fianna Fáil. Like I never heard of a country in the world that's like I vote. My mother voted for Fianna Fáil, my grandmother voted for Fianna Fáil, so I'm going to vote for Fianna Fáil because that seems to be what the elderly generation particularly, and probably even some younger generation too. Everybody voted Fianna Fáil in my family, so I'm going to vote Fianna Fáil too. Like, I don't know what to tell you about that one, but uh, every time we go to Finland stream, we probably will stream maybe once or twice. We see how we go, because you know there's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of tricking about. When I mean with that is there's a lot of going here and going there everywhere. You know, um, oh, it wasn't that I only streamed once when it was over in Finland. That didn't really work out too well. Um, but no, everybody kind of thought I left the country. It's not that I'm looking for viewers or anything like that. People thought I left the state and was never going to come back here. If I knew, if I had any sense, I probably would have. But but I would have been dealt with the truth, and I would have got cut. No, God, don't. Jesus, no need to apologize. Jesus, no. Jesus, if you ever need to go, this is to anybody. If you ever have anything to do, anywhere to go, don't feel obligated to be here. And there's no need to apologize. There's no need to apologize. Jesus, we're not going to eat you and that. We're not that bad at people. Hope. Um, I hope anyway, not that bad at people. Um, go to jail now. Yeah, no, we're not. We're not that bad. We're not that bad at people. Like if you ever do need to go anywhere, don't feel obligated to be here. Come in when you have a chat. When you don't have a chat, it's up to you. Again, there's no. We're not going to beat you up, but um, like we're not that bad. I hope. Yeah, you were probably eating Easter eggs too. There. I think everybody's probably just eating Easter eggs. It's probably not a good time to stream anyway at this time, but sure, look at. Well, here I know. People Jesus, you're all into the Easter eggs. Like yeah, I bought a few Easter eggs for a few people. Like I just kind of grab whichever. Um, like I'm not that looking into what kind of Easter egg this is and what kind of Easter egg that is. Like to me, an Easter egg's an Easter egg. I suppose there's different brands, of course, but you know. Yeah, like it's insane too. Just talking to the Easter eggs and stuff, to see how quickly. Like it was in the what was it? I was in Super Friday there the other day. Um, and went in there on Monday gone by, and the shelf was full of Easter eggs. And then I went in there like Wednesday morning, and all the shelves were empty. So people just keep buying. Like it's insane the amount of money too that people spend on Easter eggs and stuff like that for people. And it's insane amount of money too the shops are making from Easter eggs because it's absolutely madness. Um, you know, you keep asking that question, Brian. I don't know what to tell you with it. There's nothing to tell. What's going on here? When you need them, it's probably a bit too. I don't know whereabouts in America. I can't remember whereabouts did he say in the United States he lived. Probably on the. Um, but yeah, no, it's Easter too, and people be spending time with their families and stuff, and just chilling. Um, you can't have people here all the time, I suppose. Especially because again, it's a Sunday stream too. It's not like Saturday stream. Because people wouldn't be taking off a stream on a Sunday. Usually, we only have it on a Saturday or on a Wednesday. We don't usually have it on a Sunday. So, um, if that makes any sense at all. Um, so that's probably another reason why too. Because I wouldn't be expecting if I was say watching a YouTuber and they're usually live on a Saturday night, take for example. I wouldn't be expecting to be live, Sunday if they're never usually live on a Sunday. Do you get what I'm saying? It wouldn't make any sense. Um, but yeah, just to say, I said this the other stream. We'd be live Tuesday. We're probably going to play that game. There's a game coming out Tuesday. It'll probably be just an hour or two. It's not a long game. It's not probably going to be too interesting. It's probably going to just be chilling. That's pretty much it. Tuesday. Um, don't know what time. It could be a bit early. Like it could be 6:30 or so, give or take, something like that. But we see how we get on. I don't know much about the game. Um, to be totally honest, I don't know much about it. But we play it and see how it will probably only be one stream or two streams at most. But we play it anyway to see how it is and how we getting on with it. But anyway, I think we might just leave it there for tonight. Not for tonight, but this evening, I suppose. Usually I'm used to streaming at night. So we might just leave it there. We have a good bit more to talk about, but I think we leave it there. I'm a bit drowsy, to be totally honest. Like the reason I didn't stream last night because I was a bit too tired. I'm still probably a bit too tired today. I think you could probably see that a bit too. I'm stuttering a bit and don't feel that energetic, to be totally honest with you. So I think we'll leave it there. So we'll be back Tuesday. Don't think there's any videos coming. Like I have videos recorded. I probably won't put them out yet. I might put out one. We'll see. I don't know, but I might put one out tomorrow. But yeah, so yeah, that'll be it. So we'll be back Tuesday. We most likely will be back Wednesday too. All going well, of course. But we'll see how this game goes Tuesday. And then we'll take it from there, I suppose, to put that way. But anyway, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your Easter. Enjoy your Easter eggs. We chat to you and enjoy your bank holiday Monday, of course, tomorrow. We chat to you, as I say, Tuesday, and we take it from there. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.